Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Welcome. We appreciate you signing up to learn about a style of investing that's growing in popularity. We call it conscious, and you might also hear it called thematic or values-based or morally responsible investing. We're super excited about today's presentation, and we believe everyone will learn something new today. What you're about to hear represents the best and brightest thinking from our team and is the collective wisdom of over 100 years experience. Standard disclosure, which I'll have more to say about in the next few slides. We have to share this with you. I'm Kurt LaLomia, and I'm from Turning Point Financial. If you've attended before, you know I like to take care of housekeeping before we get started. I want to be up front. I want to tell everyone what's going to happen here. As we usually do, there's three basic parts to this presentation. First, we'll educate you on the various aspects of conscious investing. We'll show you how you can participate and where. And then we'll get into Q&A at the end. You can use the chat box or the Q&A field at any time for your questions. Everyone's muted while my video's on. Yours doesn't need to be. Two things not happening today. One, we're not here to sell you anything. This is an educational forum. And two, we can't provide personal financial advice in a group setting like this. Because of that, your participation today, it entitles you to a free consult. I'll tell you how that works later on. Just missed a picture of the team. A little bit about the team and about the firm. We are a registered investment advisor, or RIA, and the SEC is our regulator. We are an independent firm. We're 17 people. We're located in Frederick, Maryland. That's our home office. We work with federal employees from most agencies across the entire country. We are fiduciaries. That means we put your best interests first. If you're looking for an advisor, that's a good question to ask, because not every advisor out there is a fiduciary and held to the fiduciary standard. Our website, tpfinancial.com. You can learn more about our services, the team, myself at the website. I'll have that listed on a slide later on. So here's what we're getting into today. These acronyms we're going to talk about in just a moment. I'll share with you what they are. Some you might be familiar with. How did this happen? Why did this happen? Your impact, all that stuff we're going to get into. The most common used among these acronyms is ESG, which stands for environmental, social, and governance. Environmental means companies that or investments that are environmentally friendly. Social, companies that are socially conscious. They treat their employees well. They're active in their community. They support community events, social causes. G, governance, good corporate governance. The company's well managed. They're transparent, right on up through the CEO and the board. There's accountability among all those folks. MRI, that's something my firm got involved in earlier this year because our clients asked for it. That stands for morally responsible investments. BRI, biblically responsible investments. Those are available to folks who have strong religious beliefs and values. SRI, socially responsible investing. This is a slide you're going to see a few times throughout the presentation. That's why we're here today, talking about your values, your investments. How do you align those? What does that mean? And before you can align your money with your values, you got to ask the question, what are my values? Well, values are unique to each of us. They can be anything. Some people care about the environment and they're into sustainability and recycling. Some people have religious values. They choose to live by certain principles. Other folks, they have an aversion to tobacco, fossil fuels, gambling, drugs, and alcohol. Family values exist. The list is endless. Maybe you lost a loved one to lung cancer and you dislike the big tobacco companies. Got a neat little video here. I'm going to try to play. Hopefully it comes across well on your end. It's about 2 minutes. Hmm. Well, we're going to stop that and move on. Oh, you know what? Here's how I do that. I'm going to start it over. Bear with me, folks. I appreciate your patience. This is a cool little video. It explains what we're talking about here today. I just found the share sound button. So let me give it another try. I appreciate the person who put in the chat that they couldn't hear. So let me rewind this, start over. It's little.
Historically, investments have been seen only as a way to maximize financial returns. If you wanted to make a difference in the community, you would do that through your gifting. So you would essentially divide your financial intentions into two buckets, one for investing and one for giving. But increasingly, people are starting to question this approach and ask, what impact are my investments having? Nearly 6 in 10 people say the social and environmental impact on the companies they invest in is important to their decision-making. The good news is, increasingly more investment options are being offered that provide a way to integrate values into investment decision-making. What this means is that instead of having to choose between a financial return and a social return, you can now invest money with a double bottom line approach that seeks to maximize financial returns and social returns. This approach has many different names. They cover a wide spectrum ranging from a philosophy of doing no harm by using negative screens to doing good by applying positive screens. But the underlying idea is the same. All businesses have a social return. The only question is whether their impact on the community is a positive or negative one. Over the long term, the most successful companies are the ones that take care of their employees, their communities, and serve the best interests of their customers. So let's integrate values with investments. It's the right thing to do. And it will lead to better long-term financial results. By investing with purpose, we can do well and do good.
So there you have it. I thought that was a pretty cool video. I hope that helps to explain things a little bit better. Hope that came across okay on your end. Appreciate your patience. So here's this slide again. Things we're just going to work through today to learn more about what's going on. Cool little quote I came across. I thought this was relevant for today. Sometimes in our lives, there are what I call incongruencies. An example would be If I want to spend more time with my kids, then coaching their soccer team might be something I would consider. But if I have a demanding job that involves lots of travel and working a lot, well, that can create an incongruency in my life. While this isn't my car, I wouldn't mind if it was. Affording this $90,000 Tesla would mean that I need to work more. Driving this car and working more, that's not aligned with my value of spending more time with my kids and coaching their team. So you can see where this is leading. Another value that this slide might depict is owning an electric car like a Tesla and the impact it has on the environment and avoiding fossil fuels. So there's different ways to think about this stuff and approach it. Here are some things to be aware of related to your values. Having a budget, that's an excellent way to make sure you're spending your money according to your values. A financial plan that can provide further clarity with current and legacy giving. The final three here on this slide, those are ways to maximize charitable giving, minimize taxes. Those would be for folks that value philanthropy. So when you own these different types of assets, whether it's a mutual fund, stocks, perhaps the CSI, F, and G funds in your TSP, you're actually a part owner of the companies in that portfolio. Something to think about. Does it bother you to know that you might be profiting from fossil fuels, adult entertainment, abortion, gambling, tobacco? I can go on and on. That's how some people are starting to think about their investments, their money. What some people refer to as conscious investing, it's investing with your heart. And it's become so popular and created such demand that most of the major investment firms, they've created portfolios and screening tools to meet this demand. For example, you can own the S&P 500 index without tobacco or oil companies, if that's important to you. Those are screened out. You can own a portfolio that utilizes Catholic, Baptist, Jewish, and other religious values. You can own a portfolio that's environmentally friendly or one that's specifically focused on green technology. Clean water is important to some people, and they can choose to support that cause by investing in companies who specialize in that area. Kind of a colorful pie chart, some things to think about. We take it to another level. Here's the S&P 500 index, which is very similar to the C fund in the TSP, and some of the different things that the companies within the index are involved in, just to get your wheels turning a little bit. For any Christians with us today, here's a slide you'd be interested in. There are companies and portfolios that exist for people who want their money invested pursuant to Christian values. Demand for this style of investing, it's influencing Wall Street. Wall Street has woken up, and the big companies like T. Rowe Price and Vanguard and Fidelity, they're all offering different types of solutions. For the religious minded, it's important to note that particular religious values that an investment firm might have or a portfolio has, they're not imposed upon companies. A story I like to tell is about Costco and an investment firm we sometimes use called Inspire. Inspire was a big shareholder in Costco. Most of you know Costco. I'm a Costco member. I love Costco. Costco is known as a great employer, and it's certainly been a terrific investment over the long term. The investment firm was a large shareholder in Costco. They were able to get a meeting with the management of Costco rather than exclude Costco from its portfolio because the investment company had problems with some of the values that Costco embraced. They had a meeting of the minds, and they were actually able to find common ground. Specifically, before I go further, we all know Costco's based in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, a liberal part of the country. Costco treats its employees well. It's supposed to be a great place to work. When I'm through there, I often ask the checkout folks, hey, how do you like working here? And it's always a resoundingly positive. But so this meeting occurs, and the investment company is talking to Costco about its support of LGBTQ. And that was important to Costco, and it was doing it in a certain way that bothered the investment firm. The compromise they were able to come to was that Costco would continue to support LGBTQ, but in a way that was less vocal and less financial, while still allowing its employees to be people of different persuasions. And everybody was able to get comfortable with this. The investment firm was able to continue to maintain its large position in its portfolio, while Costco was able to modify its behavior slightly so that it was still comfortable and its employees were still comfortable with the way in which it was operating. So we've already said that specific stocks or industries can be excluded from portfolios. There's also companies or funds that focus on a cause, and that's another way you can influence with your money. You can do this by owning certain companies, mutual funds, and exchange traded funds. Can't do it in the TSP. It's not available there yet. I don't know that it's being worked on or would be, but the 5 funds in the TSP, they don't use any type of screening. This is something you would do on your own in an investment account or an IRA. As I said before, all the large, well-known companies like Vanguard, like Fidelity, they offer many solutions to match your values, causes that you support and your interest. My company offers the MRI, which I talked about, MRI, morally responsible investing. We came up with some portfolios earlier this year. Our clients wanted that, and we imposed some screening tools over the portfolio to exclude companies that were not involved in or supported morally responsible principles. Here is some food for thought, some things to think about. Next, this is how you do it. Here are some specific examples of investments that you can get involved in that might align with your values. And this is a small sample. I want to be clear that none of these are recommendations by me or by my firm. In fact, some of these I was not familiar with before putting this presentation together. Another way to do it is with certain companies, individual companies known that some favor for unique reasons for what we're talking about today. Some of those companies are Sherwin-Williams, Microsoft, Costco, Accenture, and J.B. Hunt. They're known to be socially conscious, environmentally conscious, good employers. Those are just some examples. Again, I don't support those. I'm not recommending those. That's just some information I found. So let's talk about this a little bit more. This slide for somebody who is interested in sustainability and wants fixed income or bond exposure. You might consider that Fidelity Sustainable Bond Index, invested in the bond market. Clean energy, ALPS, clean energy, ETF, equity energy. So that's an investment you can get involved in with stock market exposure that supports clean energy. The religious minded, biblically responsible investing is available at Inspire. By the way, there are fact sheets available for all of these. If you're ever interested in a mutual fund or an exchange traded fund or an index fund, simply Google the fact sheet. The fact sheet will tell you the fund's objectives, what it's all about, its top 10 holdings, its performance, its expenses. All of that stuff is available on nearly every index fund, mutual fund, exchange traded fund. Hope that helps. You can also pick those up on the websites. We can screen portfolios. If you have particular investments you own and you're interested in knowing more about their morality, their social or environmental impact, we have a tool that can help you better understand how they stand up. All I'd need is a copy of your statement. Ticker symbols, that's how we do it. So for a long time, there was a persistent idea that screened funds or thematic funds, conscious funds, were pulling some good companies out of a portfolio that may impact its performance. And what this slide shows you is it's not much of an impact. The red is S&P 500 index, and the blue is a morally responsible, similar portfolio. And it's kind of right there with it. So you're really not giving up performance. Some of the other things going on out there, I've mentioned Inspire. That's somebody we use where appropriate. Inspire, it's an investment firm. The guys have big hearts and they donate. They not only are after, morally responsible companies and screen for those, but they take it to a new level and they donate 50% of their management fees to charitable infrastructure and religious projects. You see some of that here. Specifically, they help with, clean water and water wells and filtration, small villages in Africa. There's a village in Guatemala that's impoverished that they donate money to. So we're not alone in this. You're thinking, well, how can my $100, my $1,000, my $100,000, how can that make a difference? And I'm here to tell you that, you're not alone. It's the collective power of all of our assets. And I'm going to illustrate that with a different kind of story. And the story goes like this. A single draft horse can haul up to 8,000 pounds. We're talking about a draft horse and farming and the work it does. Such strength that's difficult to imagine, but the lesson is more effective when we talk about two horses working together and what they can accomplish. You would think the obvious answer is 16,000 pounds it can drag behind them. But the two of these horses working together can actually move up to 24,000 pounds, 3 times the weight of one. This alone illustrates the value of teamwork, but more impressive, the fact that the two draft horses, when they're trained together and they're laboring alongside one another, their pulling capacity increases to 32,000 pounds, 4 times the weight that a single horse can move. So as I said, Wall Street's woken up, and there's all types of values-based investments out there, thematic investments. So we've covered a lot of ground here today, and I appreciate you all being here. We're close to wrapping up, just a few more slides. Years ago, I took a psychology class in college, and in a workshop format like this, some of you may have heard this before, you end up forgetting a lot of what you learned within a relatively short period of time. Within a week, you'll lose a third about what we talked about. 2 weeks, 2/3 will have disappeared. 3 weeks, you'll forget you were even here. It says Jay who? I'm Kurt, I'm not Jay. Just want to make sure you're paying attention. A little blip on my firm. These are the different types of solutions we offer our clients. If you have an interest in anything there, just let me know. And here's my contact information. As I said, we're going to get to Q&A in just a moment. But if you prefer, you can certainly email me directly. I'd be happy to answer your question privately. If you have a question now, you can put that in the chat or the Q&A field. Our website, tpfinancial.com. You can learn more about me, our team, as well as our services at the website. We have a number of Google reviews out there too. I'm on LinkedIn. I know I've already connected with a number of you on LinkedIn. If you want to connect, shoot me an invite. I'd be happy to connect with you. And as it says there, I'm a resource. So maybe you're not ready or you're not interested in this stuff today, but maybe you have a family member or a coworker who might have a need. Feel free to share my information with them. These slides are available upon request. Shoot me an email and I would be happy to send them to you. So we're going to get to some questions here in a minute. We'll give you all a second to type those out in chat or Q&A. Our first question: how do I go about finding a financial advisor? Well, being here today is a good first step. I know I'm not the only financial advisor that presents at different federal agencies. So checking us out, finding someone that it really boils down to 3 things, someone you like, someone you trust, and a firm that can serve your needs, what you're looking for. Can they solve for your goals? But interview different financial advisors, check them out at forums like this, get recommendations from friends and family. Google reviews, we all use Google reviews for different things. So that's another place you might look. We have another question about fees. What are your fees? How does that work? It's difficult to say because everyone's situation is different. We have a fee schedule. The fee depends upon what you need. Some people want a full-blown financial plan where we're looking at all of their stuff, their tax returns, and trying to find tax efficiencies and ways to minimize taxes. They have questions about their pension, the TSP allocation, the mortgage, and should they refinance or pay off the house, life insurance, long-term care insurance. We get into everything through our financial planning process. We have a different fee schedule for managing your money. Like most places, we charge an asset management fee. There's no commission or transaction charges or annual maintenance fees. We have a tax department. We're very good with taxes, and we do tax returns for families and small businesses. There's a fee associated with that. So it varies. We're very open, very transparent about our fees. That's definitely something you need to know? Here's another question asking a little bit more about Turning Point Financial. As I said, you can learn a lot more about us on our website, tpfinancial.com. My bio's there, and the full suite of services we offer are there. But we're a planning firm. That's how most people come to know us and work with us, is through the financial planning process. But aside from that, we offer investment solutions, we offer insurance solutions, tax solutions, and we work with clients really around the world. Most of our clients are in the United States, but more recently, we've had some clients retire to foreign countries, and we're able to work with them there and help them. We're independent. We work with an insurance broker, so we get great pricing for different types of insurance solutions for our clients. And it's a competitive process. So we're not beholden to a New York Life, a Metropolitan Life, or a Northwestern Mutual. We've got lots of options. We're 17, 18 people. We've hired 4 new people this year. We've been fortunate to experience some good growth. We're female-led, and that leads to nice office space, which is one of the reasons I like working here. Nice furniture, nice light fixtures, conference rooms to meet with our clients. We meet with clients here in person today, and as well as on Zoom. We've become very good, very efficient with technology. So that's a little bit about the firm. We're going to have another one of these next week. I'm scheduled to do a presentation next Tuesday with another federal agency, and that's not only open to that agency, but it's open to others. So if you know somebody that would be interested, please feel free to share my information and we'll get them registered for that event. It's an identical presentation. We're gearing up again for next year, and we're going to continue with the virtual, with our virtual webinars into next year. And really appreciate you all being here today. Appreciate your patience through the presentation. It was actually the first time I've used a video in a presentation, and I rather like that. I think I'll try to do that in the future. And now that I know how the sound part works, we'll get that right from the get-go next time. Again, free consults available to you. If you want to meet one-on-one, just shoot me an email. We'll get that scheduled. That's 20, 30 minutes, whatever you like. And we can talk about anything, anything we covered today, as well as any other aspect of your financial life that might be troubling you or you have questions about. Be happy to address that. We don't have any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys have been terrific. I appreciate you being here. Stay safe, be healthy, and please reach out if I can be of more assistance. Thank you.